Hey everyone, I know it's not Monday, but I have been watching this series all week on YouTube by Stanley called The Right Person Myth. And I just really feel like God pressed on my heart to share with other people. I don't know if a whole lot of people know Stanley. The only reason why I really do is because I used to go to Charles Stanley's church, which is his father in Atlanta. And he's with In Touch Ministries, but his son, Andy Stanley, also has his own church in the Atlanta area. And so I was a little bit weary of swapping because, Charles Stanley is obviously, substantially older and his son's substantially younger. And so I wasn't quite sure if I was going to kind of get the same, like you want to feel it type thing when someone is preaching. And I watch Charles Stanley pretty much every day on YouTube. Because he's just got hundreds and hundreds of sermons, and I just love that he presents everything simply, but harshly when he needs to. And so I was a little bit weary about listening to his son because I'm just not a changed person anyway. But it was definitely eye-opening. So please stay tuned, and I'm just going to give you some highlights of, kind of like my review of his video. Okay, so like I said, Andy Stanley had a series. It was called, I think, The Truth About Love, Sex, and Dating. First video was called The Right Person Myth. And like I said, I was a little bit concerned about listening to somebody different because, I just don't feel like, everybody kind of feeds my soul the way it needs to be. And like sometimes I'll be listening to people, I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but like I'll get like this funky feeling in my spirit, like, I don't know about you, dog. Like, I don't know about what you just said and how you just presented all that information. I don't know, how biblical that was. But pleasantly surprised, very excited and happy that I watched it because he did give me a lot of good tips and, definitely, a different way of viewing things. And, a lot of the 4-part series that he has on love, sex, and dating, obviously I've experienced and I knew about it. I had been married, so I had been on both ends of the spectrum of being married and also being single. He's mostly talking to single people that are wanting to get married, people that are engaged, people that are living together, all those kinds of things, or people that are just single in general, and just giving you tips of, what to look for. And so I'm gonna start with the first thing, which is obviously the right person myth that he was talking about. And he basically was saying that, obviously, what I just said, the right person is a myth. Like trying to find that right person is just an illusion and it's not gonna happen. And it sounds kind of like simple. However, a lot of people feel that way. And I feel like, kind of before he presented everything this way, like I kind of felt that way, like when you meet the right person, that everything is just gonna click. Like, you're just gonna have chemistry and, you're just gonna be able to fall in love and everything's gonna transition. And, it's gonna be like the fairy tale stories where you're just gonna live happily ever after. And, as long as you meet and marry the right person, then everything is just gonna work out. That the marriage is gonna be great, you're gonna have great kids, you're gonna have a great life, finances are gonna be on point, you're gonna be debt free, all those things, you're gonna just live happily ever after. And he kind of bursts everyone's bubble on that because the way he explains it is that, the right person coming into your life is, one, an illusion, but also it's not going to fix everything. It's not going to fix the heart or spiritual things that you have within yourself. It's not going to fix the heart and spiritual things within somebody else. So, you're both bringing baggage to the table still. I mean, everybody does in every relationship, is going to bring a little bit of, things that happened in their past with their family or with their exes or, whatever, it's gonna kind of all collide. And so you might think that you met the right person because you have all this chemistry and you feel like, there's no love like ours, and nobody understands, how we feel, this is just so right. But at the same time, you don't prepare yourself to really be in relationship with another person. And of course, when there's problems and things get rocky, when those old things resurface, then it's like, well, I must have married the wrong person. Like, the way he explained it, it was really simple, and it did kind of make me feel a little bit stupid to think like, the right person, because when you think it's the right person, then it turns out to be the wrong person. It's like, can you not trust yourself? Can you not trust God? Can you just not trust men? Can you not trust women? Like where does that leave you when you keep, finding people and the chemistry makes you feel like, oh, they're the right person, like they're my soulmate, and, everybody that you meet, like you get to the point where you love them and all that, and, you marry them, and then you're on your third and fourth marriage. And so, I have to agree, sadly, because I don't want my bubble burst. I want to be able to be in La La Land still, but, he's totally 100% right. Finding the right person is not going to fix you. It's not going to fix them. And so I definitely understand where he's going with this. But there's hope. What Andy Stanley says for hope for us single people is that, no, there's no right person. You know what you need to focus on? You need to focus on being the right person. You need to focus on being the person that the person you're looking for is looking for. If you meet the right person and you're, feeling like you're meeting them at the wrong time because your life is just in shambles and you're not where you want to be, he or she, has a good job and, they're walking with the Lord and, they seem like they have everything together and you feel like, you're a little bit broken, that's a problem because, one, they're likely not going to be attracted to a broken person because they're like, hey, I got all this and I got all this to offer, and I want somebody that has all this same stuff to offer. I know I feel like that, and I know other people feel like that. And so, really what the focus needs to be is being the person that the person you're looking for is looking for. That means you being a whole person, mind, body, spirit, soul, whatever you want to say, you having everything together, you being where you need to be, you having your own personal relationship with God, and, you're on your walk, and then, you find somebody that, can start walking with you because you guys are able to just, transition and say, okay, well, he's going here, she's going here, or she's going here, he's going here, like we could do this together, like we can rock together, and, we can meet each other's goals and, just support each other, and, there's not a whole lot of, garbage that you're bringing to the table, that you are both confident within yourselves. There's no insecurity. There's no, things that are, everybody's going to have things, but there's not substantial enough things that where you guys can compromise and get through it. Another thing that actually had me kind of emotional, and I'm emotional anyway, totally, self-admitting that I'm a self-proclaimed, like, sensitive person, like it is what it is. But I think that, I'm unapologetically me, and I'm not going to let someone else like come in and say, well, you're too this or you too that, or you need to be more this or you need to be more that, because I really feel like I've come a long way, and I really feel like, I'm a good person, and the right person will recognize that. You know, the right person is not going to, you know, be critical or, you know, anything like that. They're going to be like, you know what, she's a sweet girl. I want to nurture that. Like, you know, God blessed me with this sweet girl, this precious woman, you know, that is precious to him. I'm going to treat her like she is precious to me. And so it really sucks when you meet people that really can't understand that. And I know everybody is not, you know, where I am. And not to say that that's too much further than everybody else, but at the same time, you know, I do pray without ceasing. I am looking and seeking, you know, for God to open up the right doors for me, for God to show me the right people in my life, for God to, you know, press the certain things on my heart, for me to be able to listen to the Holy Spirit when I'm like grieved in it. And I know everybody's not like to that point in their walk with God. And like I said, I have my faults. I'm not going to list them right here, but there's a list. So no, I definitely don't think that I'm perfect, but I do think that I'm great, and I do think that I could be greater. And you know, if I could say anything to, you know, my future husband or, you know, future people that I date or whatever, it's gonna be that, you know, I've come a long way. And you know, if you're the right person, you'd let me kind of tell you where I've been and let you know why I am who I am, and, you know, the things that I do, you know, now. So maybe you would understand me a little bit better. But, you know, it is what it is. Not everybody's patient enough to take me. So I want to just close with, because I definitely didn't want to make this video long, I implore you guys to check out this video on YouTube. I will try my darndest to remember to post it in the comments, or post it in the details about the video. What's it called? The description. I'll try my best to remember to do that. So Andy Stanley, the right person myth. If you put that in a YouTube, you should be able to pick it up right away. There are a couple copycats out there, but you know, just look for Andy Stanley, Google what his face looks like if you have to. But if you do Andy Stanley, the right person myth, that should pull up the video. It's about 50 minutes. I think it's totally worth it. I watched it like 2.5 times, and actually the second time I watched it, I was like, dang, like, did I even hear that the first time? So yeah, definitely worth checking out. But I want to close with just another part of his video that he brought up. And it's so crazy because it's so super simple, and it's been here all along. And maybe when I read it to you guys are going to be like, I never looked at it that way. Hopefully I'm not the only one that felt like that, because I felt kind of dumb. Like, you know, that was in there the whole time, and I just really wasn't reading it the way that it needed to be read. But 1 Corinthians chapter 13, the love chapter, it talks about, you know, love is this, love is that. And I've quoted that scripture a billion times. I've thought about that scripture a billion times. Never once did I really apply that in dating, you know, especially now. You know, dating now, I think that we need to, as single people, apply this, you know, more than ever. So, you know, if you don't know it, go look, chapter 13, 1 Corinthians. It just talks about love and what love is. But I'm going to just go through, just, I think I have like 4 or 5 or 6 maybe. All right, so it says love is patient, and so that's the first one. So love is not going to rush you into anything. Love is not going to, you know, someone that loves you is not going to rush you into anything. It's not going to, you know, cause you to do something that, you know, is stressful to you, or you feel like you're not ready for. And that could be all kinds of things, you know, as Christians, you know, I think everybody can agree that if they've had sex before marriage, they wish that they wouldn't have had sex before marriage, and maybe it would have made them pick different type of men. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, so at this point, you know, just applying these things, you know, start where you are. You know, I don't think that God is going to be holding your past against you when you come to him and you're repetitive of it and things like that. Just you can't keep doing it, which is the hard part. You know, you have to actually change. So, and I'm preaching to myself too. So definitely don't come for me like, well, I know about you. So the next one is, well, actually about like patience. Okay, so I jotted some notes about that. Doesn't pressure, allows for space, and it doesn't push the other person. The next one is love is kind. And that means that it's considerate of how other people feel. You know, if someone's telling you, you know, I really don't like this, or I really don't appreciate this, or, you know, I really just feel like, you know, you're being this way or that way, and, you know, it's upsetting to me. You know, if you tell somebody that something's upsetting to you and then they don't change, it's like either they don't care or they're, you know, so self-centered that, you know, they are selfish, or where they feel like they don't have to change anything because they're obviously perfect. So, you know, accept me who I am for who I am, or don't accept me at all, take me or leave me. And it's like, at this point, I'm going to leave you and keep my peace. So, you know, that's kind of where I am with that. Because I feel like I'm a kind person. I feel like I'm a caring person. And I want somebody that's going to ask me about my day, and that's going to give a crap about what I say my day is. And, you know, even if they don't, I need you to just act like you do. So, you know, it's kind, it's considerate. It's, you know, like you're sweet, you're loving, you're, you know, just kind. Doesn't envy, and I think this is like a big thing, and the way he brought it up is like way different than like how I've looked at it in the past. And he said that when you're envious of, you know, like your spouse or your partner or something like that, like you won't let them have things, like you want to one up them. For instance, if you're like, oh my God, I had such a bad day, it was such a long day, this happened and that happened, and oh my God. And then your partner, spouse, whatever says, oh, well, you think you had a bad day? Well, let me tell you about my day. You know, it just completely invalidates you. And that can be true for, you know, so many things. You're like, oh my God, guess what? You know, this happened and it was really great. And then they're like, oh, well, you know, awesome. Must be nice. You know, and they're just like real dry and just like detached. You know, like somebody that loves you is going to be happy for you, they're going to be happy with you, they're going to be sad with you. And like that's how I can tell my true friends. Like my true friends, you know, will cry with me, they'll laugh with me, and you know, that's what you need. You know, from your partner or your spouse or whatever you want to say. Like, and I mean, if you get somebody that's constantly like one-upping you and always they have a story to top your story, like that's just not cool, and it's not respectful at all, and it's a red flag. Next one is doesn't boast. This is a big thing for me because I feel like I've dated some guys that were really proud and flashy and just like over the top a little bit with like clothes and fashion and things, and I have this and I have that, and it's supposed to make me, you know, this better man the more I have. And like that's just so unattractive to me. Like I really like humble people that are grateful, you know, that knows that every good thing is a blessing from God, and that's how I try to be. And so I don't know, I guess that's, you know, just something that I'm definitely aware of every time, you know, I go into a relationship with someone or dating somebody or even thinking about dating somebody, is, you know, how they act about the things that they were given. Because I can say all day long that, you know, I have this or I have that, or, you know, at work, you know, you can say that, oh, well, I'm better at this than, you know, some of the other people. But at the same time, you know, if someone were to come to me and say, well, you're doing better than most of the other people, what are you doing? You know, my first reaction is going to be, well, I hope my first reaction, and I know what the source is, and it's that God is allowing me to be successful, that God put me here and he's going to allow me to be successful, and he's going to allow me to be here as long as I, need to. But, at the same time, I can't give like an employer that reason. I mean, I could try. It's probably going to be like, not well received. They're gonna want like tangible things of what I'm doing, but I pray about my job, and I just recently probably started doing that within the last couple weeks, but I see a difference. Every time I leave a client now, like 50% of them, everybody pretty much well receives me for the most part, but like I just get so many compliments after I leave them now, like oh my God, you're so sweet, or you're so good at this, or like you're like, they want me to stay, like they want me to be friends, like like, will you call me, will you keep in touch with me? I'm like, well, this isn't really that kind of a thing, but it's sweet and it's so flattering, and I'm just so grateful that I can help and try to bless other people. So doesn't boast, is not proud, that you can admit your mistakes, you can say when you're wrong, you can say when this is just a huge red flag for men. And when you're dating somebody, if they can't admit when they're wrong, if they can't tell you they're sorry, if they can't be completely considerate of your feelings and say, you know what, I messed up. I mean, because I'm so loving and so caring and so easygoing for the most part. I mean, I will receive that. I'll receive someone apologizing to me. I mean, even if I choose not to deal with them afterwards or not, but like, you can never come to me and tell me that you're legitimately sorry for hurting me, or neglecting me, or not doing something, and I'm not going to receive it well. So I think that's one thing that I hope the future people that I date will be able to understand too. Like, I am so forgiving, and I don't want to carry things around in my heart, and that's why I am so forgiving. So it's not for you, it's for me. And if I feel like someone's really sincere about it, then hey, maybe we can rock on. But it's totally a red flag when guys can't apologize, and it's such a turn off. And lastly, love doesn't dishonor. And I think there was a couple more in between there, but these are just the ones that I picked up the most out of. But love does not dishonor. God is not going to send you someone and it's going to hurt you or hurt them or hurt another person, so if you're hurting in a relationship, that's not God. Another big thing, and it goes back to the video that I made the other day, so I hope you guys watched it, because I think I only had like 13 views on that, but it's real serious business. But God is not going to send you someone else's husband. And I just think, like the whole dating while separated and all those things, and, women or men that are cheating, or women and men that are, dating someone that's married, is like, God is not going to send you somebody else's husband. And it completely goes against everything that God is and that God says. And so it's just not going to happen. So stop thinking that it is. And I've been there, and I've been that person like begging God to just make a relationship work out with someone that was separated, and that's made me really feel horrible. It's not something that I really want to talk about, because it's not something I'm proud of, but just letting you know from somebody that's been there, you can beg God all you want for somebody else's husband, and if he even does give that person to you, it's just not going to work out, and you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. Likely you're going to feel stupid. You're going to feel like, wow, I really know what his wife feels like now. What's what of that? So that was it for those kinds of notes on that video. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys will go out and check out the full video of Andy Stanley's. I just wanted to give you guys kind of like a little something like review of it, some cliff notes, so that you guys will hopefully maybe be inspired by these kinds of things. And I'm not a preacher, so I definitely can't regurgitate everything that he said, but I hope that you got something from this and that you will give my video a thumbs up. Leave a comment below if anything, you know, touched your heart or inspired you, or there's something that you think that I've said before that I could maybe go more in detail with, or just say hey if you're my friends or my family and you just watched the video. Just let me know that you were here, but definitely give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and just look out for my video tomorrow. It's going to be on the first guy that I dated after I got divorced, which was someone in the Air Force. So definitely check out my dating someone deployed video. I don't know what I'm gonna title it, but that was just kind of one of the big key issues that we had in our relationship, with him being, I think he was in Afghanistan when we met. So anyway, check that out tomorrow, but until then, thank you guys for watching.